it's Road Dog Just Politics back with another video, and this week I am here to tell you that there is no Brexit dividend. So as many of you all have heard, the media's been going on about it for about a week, or it's in all the front page newspapers. It was on Andrew Marr yesterday morning. Theresa May appeared on the Andrew Marr show saying that, oh, we'll be able to fund the NHS properly by a Brexit dividend. The money that we usually send to Brussels we'll be able to keep and use it to fund our NHS, and there'll be £20 billion a year to spend on our health service. And isn't it amazing? It's like a 70th birthday present for the NHS. It was so exciting. And I just think that it's just a load of bollocks, to be honest. It's a lie. That I think that Theresa May is trying to appease her Brexit backbenchers, her extremist Brexiteers, in order to fulfill some sort of Brexit no-deal destiny. And she was saying this, being interviewed by Andrew Marr on Sunday, saying that, you know, many people would have recognised and seen the big red Leave bus with the £350 million on the front for the NHS, and she's somehow miraculously managed to find this money, and it will be £300 to £400 million a week, and as I said, £20 billion a year, which will mean a 3.4 net increase year on year from 2019 onwards to pay into the NHS, and that's just on their health service, so it's got nothing to do with social care. Even though she said herself that social care goes hand in hand with health care, and that many elderly patients who are still in hospital who don't need to be there because there aren't any nursing homes for them to go to. She actually addressed that, and she actually observed that that was the case, but still didn't say that any money was going to go into social care with this amount of money, and that would be addressed some point in the future during the autumn budget. So with that in mind, I've got myself a Guardian article that explains all this Brexit dividend rubbish, and just how much of a massive porky pie it is, just so that the government or the Conservatives can, you know, fob people off, because I believe that's what they're doing. So here we have a Guardian article. It says, May's NHS Brexit dividend claim draws scepticism and doubt. As you can see. This is by Peter Walker, political correspondent. Theresa May's promise of 400 million extra. See, the numbers are confusing already. So, you know, there's no actual specific number. There's no detailed analysis. £400 million extra in weekly NHS spending within 5 years has been overshadowed by scepticism among experts and her own backbenchers over her claim it can be financed through a windfall delivered by Brexit. Ahead of a major speech by the Prime Minister in which she will pledge a £20 billion annual real terms NHS funding increase by 2023 to 24, May was ridiculed for arguing that some of the money would come from a so-called Brexit dividend. And then it goes on to explain what she said about being a member of the European Union. We give out loads of money to them and then they give it back to us, whereas when we eventually leave the EU, we'll be able to spend that money ourselves, regardless of taking into account that we'll actually be, as a country, running on a net loss, and not even knowing what the outcome of Brexit will be, seeing as we haven't even finished negotiations yet, so these are massive projections. It's right that we use that money to spend on our priorities, and the NHS is our number one priority. The Institute of Fiscal Studies said, however, that even the government had accepted the idea of an immediate post-Brexit boost to coffers would not happen. Two senior Tory MPs, who are also doctors, similarly criticised the proposal, and that includes Sarah Wollaston and Philip Lee, who say that the government basically treats the public like fools. It either is going to come out, realistically, it's either going to come out of tax rises or more borrowing, which two things ideologically the Tories are against doing. It goes on to say, the IFS has previously said a 5% real terms increase would be required for real change. The Institute's head, Paul Johnson, noted that 3.4%, which is what the government is going to spend year on year, was higher than recent increases but still below the long-term average. Emily Thornberry told Ma, "They've told us they're going to pay for it from a Brexit dividend. We don't really know what that means because we don't know what the deal is going to be and what the overall effect on the economy is going to be, and actually whether Brexit is going to end up costing us a great deal of money." So there we are. We don't even know what the outcome of Brexit is going to be. It's already had a significant negative impact on the country, as you can see by the fall in the pound and how various different car companies are moving abroad, etc., etc. So yeah, it's not looking good so far. So the idea that we're going to suddenly have loads and loads of money, it's a bit of a joke, really, to be honest. And to say that, you know, we're going to only spend this money, allocate it on healthcare and not social care, is a bit like having a bath and like turning the tap on but not putting the plug in. So you're basically just sort of hemorrhaging money, and you know, people are getting older and people have more, you know, complex needs and need to be looked after in like various different ways, and the care sector is a vital has a vital role as a part of the health service. You can't have one without the other. So you need to inject money into both the health sector and the social care sector in order for everything to run smoothly. So that's something else that they haven't really addressed. And yeah, I mean, can you imagine if Labour and Jeremy Corbyn had suddenly announced, oh, we're going to fund the NHS properly and it's going to come out of Brexit dividend? Everyone would be screaming from like the rafters, like, where's this money going to come from? How are you going to fund it? You know, how are you year on year? Give me some details, because like the media just seem to let the Tories, they let them get away with it. Like they don't challenge them at all, and like Theresa May has just been allowed to like, oh yes, a Brexit dividend, ooh, how exciting, money for the NHS. Please, like, you haven't specified where exactly it's coming from. You can't just say Brexit dividend and that's that. That's a huge generalisation, and Brexit isn't even finished yet. We don't leave officially until 2019, and even then there's going to be a transition period, so even after 2019 we'll still be in the process of leaving. So it's a massive mess, and to say that, oh, the NHS is suddenly going to receive a huge injection of money, I welcome that. Yeah, that's great, it's excellent, but it's still not enough, and at the end of the day it's probably still going to leave the NHS with its head just above water. So, not good enough, Theresa May, not good enough. And also, can I just add, during the Andrew Marr interview, as they were discussing Brexit, Theresa May made a comment such as, to do with the Brexit amendments from last week, saying, Parliament isn't there to tie the hands of government. And I was like, that's exactly what they're there for, Theresa May. That is exactly their role. Their role as MPs, as members of Parliament, is to hold the government, i.e. you, to account. So that is exactly what they are there for. They are there to tie your hands when you fuck up and do stuff wrong. So don't go all dictatorial and say that, oh, people can't tie our hands. Yes, they can. If they want to be critical of you and hold you directly to account for the stuff that you're doing, they can do exactly that. I just think at this point in time, 2 years after the referendum, Brexit has just become this massive lead ball that we're having to drag around as a country. And whatever way you voted in the referendum, leave or remain, you have to admit that this whole thing is just a whole sack of shit. Because it is. And I feel like Theresa May is just at the mercy of this small minority of Brexiteers who literally, like, have her feet to the fire, saying, "You have to do what we say, otherwise you're a traitor. How dare you? You're anti-Brexit." It's like, no. Parliament is there to hold people to account. Like, the whole idea is that we, discuss and debate, and if something isn't going well, then we try and rectify it by finding solutions instead of just letting people dictate to us what we should be doing, because that's the will of the people. The will of the people, that's what we voted for. Why can't we just get on with it? Rah, rah, rah. Sometimes I just don't think people are very aware of how complicated things are and how long things take. And, it is a big, massive thing, and we need to make sure we do it right. And we can't, quote unquote, just leave. It's a huge trading block we're attempting to leave for the first time. And I don't think people fully understand the ins and outs and ramifications of everything. So, anyway, that's enough from me. I apologise if I've not uploaded some videos or content over the past couple of weeks. I just started doing a new job, so that's kept me quite busy. So I hope to upload fairly soon. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to rate, comment and subscribe, and also click the little bell next to this video if you want to receive updates of when I upload videos. So yeah, I'll see you soon, guys. Bye!